Everybody tells you to be yourself, like it is some cute little life hack. Just be real. Just be authentic. Just stop pretending. As if your brain is supposed to hear that and go, "Oh, wow, amazing. I never thought of that. Problem solved." But that is not how it feels, is it? Because being yourself is not just about self-expression. It is exposure. It is letting people see enough of the real you that they can actually decide what they think. And that is where the fear kicks in. Not always because you think you are unlikable, but because once the performance drops, you lose control of the story. That is the part nobody says out loud. A lot of people are not hiding because they are fake. They are hiding because they are strategic. They learned very early that certain versions of them got rewarded and other versions got silence, distance, judgment, or that weird look people give you when you become inconveniently real. So you adapt. You become easier to explain, easier to digest, easier to keep around. You trim the edges, sand down the intensity. You say, "It's fine," when it isn't. You laugh when something hurt. You act chill when your whole nervous system is writing a dramatic monologue in the background. And the wild thing is, this works, at least for a while. Performance is effective. It gets approval. It keeps things smooth. It helps you avoid conflict, rejection, awkwardness, all the fun little social disasters your brain loves to treat like actual life-threatening events. But there is a price. Because when people connect with the edited version of you, some part of you always knows they are not fully meeting you. They are meeting your publicist, your customer service voice, your emotionally airbrushed trailer. And that creates a very specific kind of loneliness. You can be surrounded by people and still feel strangely unseen, because the one person they are not really in a relationship with is you. Psychology has a lot to say about this. Humans are wired for belonging. From an evolutionary point of view, being accepted by the group was never some nice bonus feature. It was survival. So your brain does not treat social rejection like a tiny inconvenience. It treats it like a threat. That is why being honest can feel physically uncomfortable. Your heart races, your chest tightens, your stomach drops, and suddenly saying, "Actually, I do not like that," feels as dramatic as announcing your exile from civilization. The danger may not be real in the present, but your body is often reacting to a much older equation. Truth equals risk. And for some people, that equation got reinforced over and over. Maybe you grew up in an environment where love felt conditional. Maybe being easygoing got you praise, but being emotional got you dismissed. Maybe you learned that honesty created tension, and tension meant disconnection. So now, even healthy authenticity feels dangerous, not because it is wrong, but because your nervous system still remembers it as expensive. Which is why just be yourself can sound less like wisdom and more like someone telling a person with a broken leg to simply enjoy jogging. Here is where it gets interesting, though. A lot of the fear around authenticity is not actually fear of rejection. It is fear of uncontrollable perception. You can handle people liking you. You can even sometimes handle people disliking you. What is much harder is letting people see you clearly and then not being able to manage what they do with that information. Because once you stop over-explaining, over-performing, and constantly shaping your image, people get to make their own interpretation. They might understand you. They might not. They might admire you. They might project all their unresolved nonsense onto you like a movie screen. And you do not get final editing rights. That is why authenticity can feel so exposed. It is not passive. It asks you to tolerate being misunderstood without instantly abandoning yourself to fix it. And honestly, that is a hard skill. Most people are not struggling because they do not know who they are. They are struggling because they know exactly how quickly honesty can rearrange a relationship. When you stop performing, some connections deepen and some start glitching immediately. Not because authenticity ruins relationships, but because it reveals what the relationship was built on. If someone only liked you when you were endlessly available, never complicated, never needy, never direct, then the real problem is not that you changed. It is that the connection depended on your self-erasure. That is not closeness. That is emotional convenience wearing a cute outfit. Sometimes people do not reject the real you. They reject what the real you requires from them. Your honesty may require honesty back. Your boundaries may remove their comfort. Your confidence may expose their insecurity. Your depth may ask them to be more present than they know how to be. They say, "You're too much, too sensitive, too intense, too difficult," which is a very convenient way to turn their discomfort into your identity. And this is where a lot of people lose themselves. They hear enough reactions like that, and they start treating their natural traits like defects. They become smaller, flatter, safer. But safer is not always better. Sometimes safer just means more acceptable to people who were never going to know what to do with your full humanity anyway. Real authenticity is not about acting the same in every room. It is not rigidity. It is not announcing every thought in your head like you are live streaming your inner monologue. It is about not editing yourself so aggressively that you disappear. It is having range without betrayal. It is adjusting your volume without changing your core. You can be warm in one space and reserved in another. Playful with friends, serious at work, quiet when tired, intense when passionate. That is not fake. That is being a person, not a brand. So, what does becoming more authentic actually look like in real life? Usually, it starts very small, not with some dramatic reinvention, more like tiny acts of honesty your nervous system can survive. Admitting you do not agree. Saying no without writing a 10-page apology in your head. Letting someone be mildly disappointed. Sharing a preference without checking the room first. Telling the truth and then resisting the urge to chase after it with a cleanup crew. That is how self-trust gets built. Not through grand speeches. Through teaching your body again and again that honesty is uncomfortable sometimes, but survivable. That not every awkward pause is abandonment. That not every mismatch is rejection. That incompatibility is not proof that something is wrong with you. Not every locked door is a moral judgment. Some doors are just not your door. And yes, authenticity does cost something. It may cost broad approval. It may cost roles you got praised for playing. It may cost relationships that only worked when you were less visible. But what it gives back is bigger. It gives you relief, energy, integrity. The strange peace of not having to monitor yourself every second like you are your own overworked PR team. And eventually, it gives you better connection too. Fewer people, maybe, but better ones. People who are not just attached to your usefulness or your polish, but to your actual mind, your actual rhythm, your actual presence. That is the real shift. The goal is not to be liked by everyone. The goal is to stop abandoning yourself just to stay digestible. Because life gets lighter when you stop asking, "How do I make myself easier to keep?" and start asking, "What happens when I stay on my own side?" That question changes everything. So maybe authenticity is not really about self-expression at all. Maybe it is about self-permission. Permission to be seen without constant correction. Permission to be specific. Permission to take up human-shaped space even when that makes things less tidy. And maybe the people who can meet you there were always going to be the right people anyway. If this hit something real for you, let that sit with you for a second. And tell me in the comments what feels hard for you. See you in the next one.